My fiancé posted her male best friend as her fiancé, then said, "Your face would have ruined my Instagram aesthetic." So I ruined her life instead. Now she's begging me nonstop. Sup Reddit. So my fiancé announced her engagement on Instagram. Problem was, it wasn't to me. I, 29 male, met my fiancée Elena, 28 female, at a coffee shop 3 years ago. She was complaining about her nursing job and how it was killing her creative soul. I listened while she talked about becoming a lifestyle influencer. 2 months later, she quit to focus on her brand full-time. I said I'd support her temporarily. That was my first mistake. Proposed a year in because she wouldn't shut up about our future and kept posting couple content. Got her a ring she picked out herself. Cost me 2 months' salary. She said it photographed beautifully. Should have known then. The arrangement was simple. I'd cover rent and bills while she built her following. She'd handle the apartment and we'd be a team. My version of the deal was working 60-hour weeks in supply chain management. Her version was taking photos of succulents. I'd been crushing my quarterly targets for the past year. My boss kept mentioning expansion opportunities. Regional director role was on the table. I was focused, driven, building something real while she built fantasies. Julian showed up 6 months ago as her new photographer. She said he was her platonic best friend and understood her vision better than anyone. Red flag the size of a billboard. I filed it away. Found out I'd been replaced at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. Couldn't sleep. Quarterly reports due in 6 hours. Opened Instagram like an idiot. Then I saw it. Elena's latest post from the annual white party. The exclusive event I'd driven her to last Saturday. The photo was perfect. Golden hour lighting. Her white silk dress. Julian standing next to her in matching white linen, arm around her waist. Both staring off into the distance like they'd discovered enlightenment instead of posing against a branded wall. The caption made my blood cold. Found my person. Forever grateful for this journey. It Julian creates. 3,000 likes. 200 comments. All congratulating them. My fiancé and her platonic best friend photographer. Except I was her fiancé, not Julian. I sat there reading comments from people I knew. Her friends. Our friends. People who'd eaten at our table. People who'd been at our engagement party. Not one person mentioned me. I scrolled back through her feed. Watched myself disappear in real time. Photos from 6 months ago had me cropped out. 3 months ago, I was replaced with props. 2 months ago, I was completely gone. One post from April showed us at a restaurant. The version on her feed showed her table, her food, her aesthetic latte. I was there that day. Paid the check, took the photo, edited out completely. Another from May was a beach sunset, her silhouette against the water. I'd been standing right next to her when Julian took that shot. He'd asked me to step aside for better composition. Made sense at the time. Looking at it now, I was being systematically removed. June had a carousel of her morning routine. Coffee, yoga, journaling. The apartment visible in every shot. My apartment. My furniture. My coffee maker she was posing with. No mention of who paid for any of it. She'd been erasing me systematically. Testing the aesthetic without me. Creating a story where I never existed. Checked Julian's Instagram. Same photo, same caption, different angle. She said yes. Building our forever. At Elena Willow. Building our forever. In my apartment. With my money. On my credit card. My phone buzzed. Elena, you awake? Me. Yeah. Saw your post. Congrats on the engagement. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Elena. OMG babe, it's not what it looks like. Me. Really? Because it looks like you posted engagement photos with your photographer. Elena. It's just for content. The aesthetic was perfect. Julian and I did a photo shoot, and the engagement angle gets better engagement metrics. He's my best friend, you know that. Me. You're wearing my ring. Elena, I'm still wearing your ring. This is just Instagram. It's not real life. Julian is literally just my best friend. My platonic best friend. You know how this works? Me. I know you erased me from your feed. I know 3,000 people think you're engaged to Julian. Elena, babe, you're being dramatic. It's social media. It doesn't mean anything. Julian is my best friend. That's it. I love you. You're my actual fiancé. Julian is just for the aesthetic. Me. When were you planning to tell your followers your aesthetic fiancé is fake? 3 dots. 5 minutes of dots. Elena. Why would I do that? It ruins the narrative. People want fantasy, not reality. This is good for my brand. You should be supporting this, me. I should be supporting you pretending to be engaged to another man. Elena. Yes, because you understand the industry. And honestly, your face would have ruined my aesthetic anyway. Julian photographs better. I screenshot everything. created a folder labeled Receipts. Then I opened my banking app. Our shared credit card was in my name. Elena had authorized user access. Last 30 days, $4,847. Aesthetic cafes, brand clothing, hair before the party, the white silk dress, spray tan, manicure, Julian's new camera lens she'd bought him, building her fake relationship on my dime. I froze her card, reported it lost, requested a new one sent to my office only, changed the Wi-Fi password, changed all streaming passwords, changed the cloud storage password where she kept all her content files. 3 a.m. had to work in 4 hours, but I was wide awake. Pulled up our lease, my name only. Never added her because landlord required proof of income. Pulled up the Audi lease, my name, my credit, my insurance, utilities, internet, phone plan, insurance, gym, all mine. Everything she used to build her brand was in my name and funded by my income. Started a spreadsheet, 3 columns, date, expense, amount, 6 months of statements, restaurants, coffee, clothing, beauty, photography equipment, ring lights, camera upgrades, software subscriptions. Total, $31,340 in 6 months. Then I sent one text. Me. Come home after your coffee date with Julian. We need to talk. I got home at 5:45 p.m., sat on the couch with my laptop open. Receipts folder ready, documentation folder ready. She showed up at 6:20 p.m., walking in like nothing happened, checking her phone. Hey, what did you want to talk about? I have a brand call at 7. Cancel it. She looked up, annoyed. I can't just cancel. This is a potential partnership. More important than explaining why you posted engagement photos with your platonic best friend Julian? Oh my God. Eye roll. Are you still on this? It's content. It's strategy. Julian is my best friend. That's it. Nothing else. Your best friend you pretended to be engaged to. It's not pretending if it's for work. You used my ring. It photographs well. You said I could choose whatever I wanted. I said you could choose your engagement ring, not your prop ring for fake content with your best friend. You're being controlling. Julian supports my vision. He gets me. Julian, who you bought a camera lens for with my money. He's not doing it for money. We have a creative connection. He's my best friend. My platonic best friend. Why can't you understand that? I pulled up my laptop, turned it toward her. Let's talk about the wedding Pinterest board. Her face went pale. You went through my Pinterest? The board you shared with me 3 months ago. Our dream wedding. 600 pins. Julian tagged in half of them. That's research. For when we get married. I'm gathering ideas. Interesting, because I found the venue deposits. Pulled up my bank statements. Turned the screen. Riverside Estate, $5,000 on my credit card. Wedding date October 14th. My signature forged on the contract. I was going to tell you. I found an amazing deal and had to lock in the date before someone grabbed it. You would have said yes anyway. You forged my signature. I didn't steal. It's our money. We're engaged. What's mine is yours. So your Instagram brand is mine too? Your followers? Your content? She uncrossed her arms. That's different. That's my career. My personal brand. But I can claim the $31,000 you spent building it in 6 months. Pulled up the spreadsheet. Turned it around. Her mouth opened. Closed. You've been tracking my spending? I've been tracking my spending. You just happen to be the one doing it. This is financial mistreatment. This is toxic. What's toxic is funding fake engagement photos with your best friend while telling me my face ruins your aesthetic. I didn't mean it like that. What context makes that acceptable? She was scrambling. I just meant for Instagram. Julian has more of an editorial look. You're handsome, but in a normal way, not a content way. Normal, not content-worthy. See, you're twisting my words. Julian understands. He's my best friend, and he gets what I'm trying to build. So build it somewhere else. Pack your equipment. You've got until the end of the month. Her face changed. Wait, what? You heard me. 30 days. Then you're gone. You can't kick me out. I live here. No, you stay here. Big difference. Check the lease. She grabbed her phone. Started typing fast. Probably texting Julian. Don't bother. He's not coming over. You want to have this conversation? We're having it now. I'm calling him for support. You're being unreasonable. I'm being unreasonable? You posted fake engagement photos with another man. You told me my face ruins your aesthetic. You forged my signature on a venue contract. But I'm unreasonable for wanting you out of my apartment. Door knocked. She jumped. Who's that? Julian. I texted him. For moral support. She opened the door. Julian walked in wearing an oversized cardigan and linen pants that dragged on the ground. Looked at me with this weird mix of concern and superiority. Mark, hey man, Elena said you were upset about the photo shoot. The fake engagement photo shoot where you both pretended to be engaged while she's actually engaged to me. He sat down on my couch without being invited. I can see how that might feel confusing. But art requires sacrifice. Sometimes we put ego aside for the work. Ego. Elena and I are creating something special. A narrative. We're best friends building a brand story. It transcends traditional relationship boundaries. You're pretending to be engaged. We're embodying a vision. There's a difference. Elena jumped in. No one thinks we're actually engaged. Everyone knows it's content. Julian is my best friend. That's all he's ever been. Pulled up my phone. Showed her the comments. Your Aunt Carol congratulated you. Your nursing friend asked when the wedding is. Your former boss sent a gift card. 3,000 people think you're engaged to your best friend Julian. So, they'll figure it out eventually. What matters is the engagement. The metrics. The engagement metrics for your fake engagement. Exactly. Julian nodded. See? Mark seems practical. He should understand the business side. Strategy funded by my credit card. Julian's enthusiasm dimmed. What? The white dress? My card. The venue deposit for the fake wedding. My card. Your new camera lens. My card. He looked at Elena. You said you were paying for equipment. I am paying. With our shared finances. Your name's not on the lease. Not on any account. Not on the car. You live here because I allow it. Her face hardened. Allow it? I'm your fiancé. This is my home. No. This is my apartment. You're a guest. Julian stood. Maybe we should let Mark cool down. Great idea. Both of you. Leave. Elena grabbed Julian's arm. We're not leaving. I live here. Mark is being emotional because he doesn't understand content strategy. You're right. It will blow over. In 30 days when you're gone. What? Pulled out the eviction notice I'd printed at work. 30 days! You're not on the lease. No legal right to stay. I'm asking you to leave. She grabbed the paper. Read it. Looked up with actual fear. You're evicting me? I'm ending our arrangement. We're engaged. You can't just kick me out. I pulled my engagement ring off. Set it on the coffee table. Not anymore. And I'll take that back. I held out my hand. She stared at it. Then at me. Slowly pulled the ring off her finger. The one that photographed beautifully. 2 months of my salary sitting in my palm. Silence. Elena stared at the ring. You're breaking up with me? You broke up with me when you posted engagement photos with Julian. I'm making it official. But I didn't actually get engaged to him. It was for content. He's my best friend. You're breaking up with me over content? Yeah, whatever you want to call it. We have a future. I want to marry you. The Julian thing is just work. Just photos. He's literally just my platonic best friend. Then post the truth. Tell your 3,000 followers you're not engaged to your best friend Julian. Tell them you're engaged to me. Show my face. She looked at Julian. Back at me. I can't do that. Why not? Because it ruins the narrative. Julian and I have momentum. The aesthetic is working. Then the aesthetic is more important than us. That's not fair. You're making me choose between my career and you. No, you already chose. I'm accepting it. Julian tried to intervene. Mark, man, Elena loves you. She talks about you all the time. This is just professional. What we had, past tense, grabbed my keys. Guest bedroom for 30 days, not the master. After that, gone. Julian, you need to leave now. Julian looked at Elena. He stood slowly. This is harsh, man. What's harsh is pretending to be engaged to someone else's fiancé. Now leave. He walked to the door. Stopped. Turned back. Elena needs support right now. You're abandoning her when she's vulnerable. She's vulnerable because she committed fraud. That's not my problem anymore. Elena stood there, shaking. Mark, please. I made mistakes. I got caught up. But I love you. I want to marry you. Not Julian. He's just my best friend. They left together. Julian comforting Elena. Elena looking back like I was the villain. Door closed. I sat back down. My apartment. My ring on the table. First time in 3 years I felt like myself. But I wasn't done. Not even close. 2 weeks later, I started calling vendors. Early morning before Elena woke up. Riverside Estate first. Said the word forgery, and the tone changed. They needed documentation. Mr. Mark, we understand the situation, but we'll need an official police report before we can process any refunds. This involves identity fraud. I went to the police station that afternoon. Filed a report for identity fraud, forged signatures, credit card misuse without authorization. The detective took my statement, Looked through all my documentation, bank statements, forged contracts, screenshots. Mr. Mark, this is solid evidence. I'll investigate and forward everything to the DA's office for review. These cases take time, though. Could be several months before charges are filed. Understood. In the meantime, you can use the report number for your vendors and bank disputes. Got the report number. Started making more calls. Crimson Lens Photography was next. Mr. Mark, we'll need to verify the police report. Can you send the case number and documentation? Sent everything. Sat on hold for 30 minutes while they reviewed. Put me on hold 3 more times. We're initiating a refund, but our accounting department needs to process it. Could take 30 to 45 business days. That's fine. 2,500 back. Eventually, minus processing fees. Botanical Dreams Florals was resistant until I mentioned the police report. This is between you and your fiancé. We fulfilled our contract in good faith, with a forged signature. I have a police report documenting identity fraud. Send it to our legal department. They'll review and advise. 2 weeks of silence. Then another week. Then automated responses. I finally initiated a chargeback through my bank. 3 more weeks of back-and-forth documentation. Statements sent twice. Case number provided 3 separate times before the bank sided with me. 1,800 back by late spring. After fees. The cake vendor was different. Woman named Rita, who'd sent Elena 6 different tastings. Mr. Mark, I remember you. You came to 1 tasting. Quiet guy. She did all the talking. That's me. Here's the situation. She booked a wedding using my card without authorization. I have the police report and bank statements showing fraud. Let me pull the contract. Silence. Typing. She signed your name. That's your signature? No. That's forgery. Hold on. More typing. I'm refunding the full deposit, $3,200, and I'm blacklisting her from every vendor network I'm in. This is disgusting. Appreciate it. One more thing. She tried booking a tasting for next month, under Julian's name. Same card numbers she used for yours. Block it. He's complicit. Done. And Mr. Mark, I hope you find someone who deserves you. Kept going. DJ needed 3 weeks in legal review. Videographer required a chargeback that dragged out over 6 weeks. Invitations vendor refunded immediately after seeing the police report. Hair and makeup team took 2 months of disputes, automated rejections, resubmitted documents before agreeing to refund. By late spring, I'd recovered about $8,200 of the $12,600 I was owed from vendors. The rest was still in dispute or lost to processing fees and vendor stubbornness. But I wasn't stopping there. 3 months after the breakup, I called my lawyer, corporate attorney I'd worked with on supply chain contracts. Mark, what's the situation? Laid it out. The fraud, the forgery, the systematic identity theft. You have a solid case, civil and criminal. The police report is filed. The detective's investigating. But understand this process is slow. The DA's office is backed up. Could be 6 to 8 months before they even decide to file charges. How far do you want to take this? All the way. I want her to understand what consequences look like. I'll draft a civil suit for fraud, identity theft, and unjust enrichment. We'll sue for the full $31,000 plus legal fees. And I'll coordinate with the detective on the criminal side. But know these are 2 separate processes. Criminal charges will take longer. Civil suit we can move on now. Perfect. And Julian, the photographer? He knowingly participated in content created with stolen funds. He accepted expensive equipment purchased with my card without authorization. He collaborated on a scheme to defraud brands by presenting a fake relationship. My lawyer was quiet for a moment. That's conspiracy to commit fraud. Aiding and abetting identity theft. I can build that case for the DA, but they'll decide if charges are warranted. Build it. By early summer, Elena's Instagram was bleeding followers. Not the dramatic 1,000 per hour drop I'd imagined. More like slow erosion. 43,000 to 41,500 over the first month. Then 41,500 to 39,800 over the next 6 weeks. Then 39,800 to 37,200 by mid-July. Gradual but relentless. People asking questions in comments. Where was Mark? What happened to her engagement? Why was she with Julian now? She deleted comments, blocked accounts, but the questions kept coming. I'd been working on the brand situation carefully. My lawyer reviewed everything before I sent a single email. Only contact brands where you have direct financial involvement. Brands she tagged in posts you paid for directly. Keep it factual. Professional tone. Include only police report number and relevant card statements. No emotional language, no manifestos. This needs to look like a legitimate fraud notice. He drafted the template. Subject: fraud notice. Identity misuse for brand content. Body, professional. Neutral. 3 paragraphs. Police report number. Bank statement highlights showing specific transactions. My contact info and my lawyer's contact info. Statement that this was being sent to their legal compliance department for review. Send it to their legal compliance inbox. Not marketing, not partnerships. Legal departments take this seriously. I sent exactly 9 emails. Not 17. 9 brands where my credit card statements showed direct expenses for posts they were tagged in. Products Elena had purchased on my card. Events I'd paid for that they sponsored. Collaborations funded with my money. 4 brands responded within 2 weeks asking for additional documentation. I sent it through my lawyer. Waited. 2 dropped her within 3 weeks. Quietly, no announcements. Just stopped working with her. 1 brand said their legal team was reviewing and never followed up. Probably decided it wasn't worth the risk. 2 brands never responded at all. Ignored it completely. It wasn't the instant collapse I'd imagined. It was bureaucratic. Slow. Legal departments reviewing. Compliance officers investigating. Contracts quietly not being renewed. New opportunities drying up. By early fall, Elena had lost about half her brand partnerships. Not all at once. Gradually. Deals ending without renewal. New pitches ignored. Her income bleeding out like her follower count. My lawyer called in late September with an update. Mark, the detective, finished his investigation. Forwarded everything to the DA's office. They reviewed the case. Good news, they're filing charges. Multiple counts of identity fraud and credit card fraud. Strong enough to pursue. But the arraignment won't be until late November at the earliest. The court calendar is backed up. What about Julian? They're still investigating his involvement. The equipment purchases. His knowledge of the fraud. His participation in the fake relationship content. But that investigation is separate and moving slower. Could be several more months before they decide on charges. November came. Elena's arraignment got scheduled for late November. Then pushed to mid-December. Then pushed again to January. My work stayed steady through all of this. The regional director promotion came through in October. Same opportunity my boss had been hinting about since March. Mark, you've been on fire lately. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. This promotion was earned. 35% raise. Corner office, team of 12. Thanks. You've been incredibly focused this year. Really stepped up. Because I wasn't funding someone else's delusions anymore. Because I was building something real. The arraignment finally happened in mid-January, almost a year after I'd filed the initial police report. My lawyer called that afternoon. She took the plea. Guilty to fraud and identity theft. Restitution of $31,000. 3 years probation. 500 hours community service. Permanent criminal record. And Julian? His case is still pending, but I got word today. Detective brought him in this morning. Showed him the evidence. The equipment purchased with your stolen card. The fake engagement posts used to secure brand deals. His participation in the fraudulent wedding planning. He's cooperating fully now. Gave a detailed confession. What does that mean for Elena? It strengthens her conviction. But more importantly for Julian, it means he might get a deal. The DA's office will likely offer reduced charges for cooperation. Restitution, probation. He'll take it to avoid prison time. 2 weeks later, my lawyer confirmed it. Julian took a deal. Reduced charges for cooperation. Restitution for the equipment. 2 years probation. Community service. He's also permanently flagged in professional photography networks. Good. That's not all. Her parents called my office yesterday. They want to settle the civil suit. They're willing to pay the full amount plus legal fees to make this go away quietly. How much total? $42,000? 31 in damages, 11 in fees and interest. Accept it. Done. Funds will transfer within 5 business days. I hung up and sat at my desk. Stared at my computer screen. Supply chain optimization reports. Quarterly projections. Normal work. Everything was handled. Everything was settled. Elena was done. Julian was done. Justice was served. And I didn't feel anything except satisfaction. The civil suit payment hit my account in early February. $42,000. I took the $31,000 she'd spent and opened a separate investment account. Index funds. Long-term growth? That money would compound. Become something permanent. A reminder that I built real value while she chased aesthetics. The remaining $11,000 went into my savings. Padded the emergency fund. Added security. The sustainable fashion brand contract came through in March. Nothing crazy. Product shipments started arriving. Clean basics. Quality materials. Stuff I'd actually wear anyway. The shoot was downtown. Professional studio. Real crew. Actual photographers who treated me like a person instead of a prop to be cropped. Mr. Mark, we're going for authentic professional. You in your element, natural poses, no forced aesthetic, just real life captured well. They shot me in a conference room, at a desk, walking through the office building, casual business attire, nothing staged or fake. Perfect. This is exactly what we wanted. Real, grounded, relatable. Someone our audience can actually relate to. 4 hours, done. Check cleared a week later. 2,000, not life-changing but legitimate. Real work, real money. Posted my first Instagram photo in over a year. Me in the office conference room. City skyline behind me through the windows. Natural light. Caption. Built it myself. No filters needed. The sustainable fashion brand commented first. This is the aesthetic we love. Real. Grounded. Authentic. 600 likes in the first day. All real accounts. Real engagement from real people. Checked my viewer list out of curiosity. Elena had viewed it. Multiple times. Didn't block her. Let her watch. From her parents' house in Tampa. From Target where she worked now. From the outside of a life she destroyed herself. She could watch me build something real while she dealt with the consequences of chasing fake aesthetics. Because my face didn't ruin anything. Her priorities did. That spring, my buddy from the gym texted me. Yo, my girlfriend backed out of the white party at Riverside Estate. You want her ticket? Should be good networking. I know you're big on that now with the promotion. I'd already bought my own ticket weeks ago. Been planning to go. But I told him sure. Yeah, I'll take it off your hands. Thanks, man. Saturday afternoon I got dressed. White linen shirt, beige chinos, clean look. Drove myself this time. Pulled up to valet at 2 p.m. Regular entrance, general admission, checked in with everyone else, walked into the party, white tents, aesthetic everywhere. Influencers performing happiness for phones. Found the espresso cart, grabbed an iced coffee. The expensive kind Elena used to like. Saw her at 2:30. Across the courtyard with Julian, both looking out of place. She was wearing a different white dress. Cheaper material. Bad fit. Hair pulled back simple because she probably couldn't afford the 3-hour salon session anymore. Julian had the same linen outfit, but it looked wrinkled, unwashed, like he'd worn it straight from last year. Neither of them belonged anymore, and you could tell. I didn't approach, didn't need to, just existed in the same space. But someone else noticed. A woman in white walked past Elena, stopped, did a double take, pulled out her phone, started typing while looking at Elena and Julian, showed her phone to her friend. Both looked at Elena again, recognition spreading across their faces. Elena noticed, grabbed Julian's arm, said something urgent. More people checking phones? Someone must have posted about seeing them, or Googled their names after recognizing them. In that scene, names travel fast. 3 more people looking, subtle pointing, whispers. Elena's face went pale. She pulled Julian toward the exit. They tried to move casually, but the panic was obvious. A photographer approached them, not hostile, just curious. Hey, aren't you Elena? I heard about the fraud case here. That floated around group chats and vendor lists. Elena didn't respond, just kept walking. Julian tried to deflect. You have us confused with someone else. No, I'm pretty sure. The fake engagement photos? The identity theft? Everyone heard about it. You're Julian. People were definitely watching now. Phones out. Recording probably. Elena almost ran. Julian followed. Both heading for the exit like the place was burning. Gone in under 5 minutes. I stayed at the cart. Finished my coffee. Grabbed another. A photographer approached me. Different one. Older guy with professional equipment. Hey, you're Mark, right? From that case? That's me. Man, I heard the whole story. She posted her photographer as her fiancé while you were funding everything. That's brutal. Something like that. For what it's worth, everyone in the photography scene knows what Julian did. Nobody will book him now. Professional ethics matter in this industry. Makes sense. He handed me his card. If you ever need professional photos, reach out. Real work. Real rates. None of that content farming garbage. I pocketed it. Stayed another 2 hours. Networked. Met vendors. Had actual conversations about supply chain logistics. About business. About real work. Got 3 more business cards from photographers who'd heard about the case and respected how I handled it professionally. One was from a woman who worked with a sustainable fashion brand. We're looking for someone stable and lawsuit-proof for a small campaign. Real professionals, not influencers. Would you be interested? I work in supply chain management. Perfect. That's exactly what we need. Someone boring and safe. It's not a huge campaign. Just product and a small fee. Maybe 2,000 for 3 posts over a month. Keep it natural. Sure, I'm in. She handed me her card. I pocketed it. Drove home at sunset. Windows down, radio on. That was it. No big confrontation. No dramatic call-out. Just her reputation crumbling naturally, while mine improved. Perfect. That fall, I was leaving my building when someone knocked on my door. Looked through the peephole. Elena. Her face was destroyed. Red. Scarred. Blotchy. Chemical peel gone horrifically wrong. I opened the door. Stood in the doorway. Didn't move. Didn't invite her in. Didn't step back. Just let the silence do the work. Mark. Thank God. What do you want? She touched her face. Self-conscious. Broken. Everything fell apart. The brands dropped me. Julian won't talk to me anymore. His lawyer is actually suing me for defamation because I told people he forced me into the fraud scheme. My Instagram is dead. I'm working at Target. And this. She gestured to her face. Tears in her eyes. Skincare collab. They promised professional results. Free products if I posted about it. It was acid. I'm permanently scarred. Unfortunate. Unfortunate? Mark, I can't do content anymore. My face is ruined. I need help. I need money for treatment. For laser therapy. Please. And you came to me? You're the only person who ever supported me. Please. I'm desperate. I stared at her face, then at the door chain. Kept my hand on the door frame. Didn't ask questions. Let me understand this. You erased me from your Instagram. Told me my face ruined your aesthetic. Posted fake engagement photos with your best friend Julian. Stole $31,000 from me. Forged my signature on wedding contracts. Got yourself convicted of fraud with a permanent criminal record. Cost your parents $42,000 in restitution. And now that your face is actually ruined, you want help from the guy whose face you said wasn't good enough? When you put it like that, it sounds bad. It was bad. You just didn't care until it affected you personally. I'm sorry. Really. What else do you want me to say? Nothing. That's the difference between us. I don't want anything from you. So you won't help me? You're not dying. You're just not winning anymore. That's what you're calling suffering. Her eyes filled with tears. You're enjoying this. I'm not enjoying anything. I'm just not participating in your cycle anymore. So that's it? You're going to let me suffer. You have income. You have a roof. You have your health besides the scars. You just don't have easy money and Instagram fame anymore. That's not suffering. That's reality. That's what most people deal with every day. I can't believe you're this cold. I filed legitimate fraud charges. Let the legal system work. It took almost a year, but justice happened. I didn't destroy you. I just stopped enabling you. Everything else was your own choices creating natural consequences. Julian said the same thing, that my damaged face hurt his portfolio, that he couldn't be associated with me anymore because it damaged his brand. Some best friend. Sounds like you two deserved each other. She was crying now. Full breakdown. What am I supposed to do? Work your Target shifts, pay your bills, save money, build a real life with real work. Same advice I'd give anyone in your situation. I can't do this alone. You're not alone. You have your parents who paid your restitution, your coworkers, reality. You'll figure it out like everyone else does. So you really won't help me. I already helped you. For 3 years. I funded your dreams, supported your career, paid for everything. That account is closed now. Permanently. She stared at me, completely broken. Nothing left of the confident influencer who told me my face ruined her aesthetic. I hope you're happy. I'm content. My bills are paid. My fridge is full. My weekends are mine. I'm building something real. Your parents paid $42,000? They paid for your choices. Your fraud, your consequences, not mine. She turned to leave, stopped at the door, voice broken. Was I really that bad? You told me my face would ruin your Instagram aesthetic while wearing my engagement ring, living in my apartment, spending my money, and planning a fake wedding on my credit card with your platonic best friend photographer. Then you committed multiple felonies and destroyed your own life. So yeah, you were that bad. She left without another word. I closed the door, went back to my Saturday. Meal prep, gym, normal productive weekend. The next day, Julian's mother called. Somehow got my number. Mr. Mark, I'm calling about my son Julian. He's lost everything. His career is destroyed. His reputation is gone. He's living at home with us. Nobody will book him. This has gone too far. Has it? He made mistakes, but he was just trying to help a friend. Elena manipulated him into all of this. Elena manipulated him into accepting expensive camera equipment purchased with my stolen credit card. Elena manipulated him into creating fake engagement content while knowing she was engaged to me. Elena manipulated him into participating in fraudulent wedding planning? He didn't know it was fraud. Your son is 27 years old. He knew she was engaged to me. He knew we lived together in my apartment. He knew I paid for everything. But he took the equipment anyway. He created the fake engagement post anyway. He helped build a fake relationship for brand deals. That's not manipulation. That's conscious choice. You've destroyed his future over a misunderstanding. I documented fraud, filed appropriate charges. Let the legal system work for almost a year. Your son destroyed his own future by choosing to participate in identity theft. Those are his consequences. We're willing to pay. Whatever you want. Just help clear his name with the photography community. His name was cleared when he took the plea deal and got probation instead of prison time. What you're asking for is for me to lie and say he did nothing wrong. I won't do that. He participated in fraud. That's fact. That's public record. So you're just going to let him deal with this? Your son is 27 years old, living at home with his parents, with probation and a damaged professional reputation. That's not suffering. That's facing consequences for his actions. Maybe it'll teach him not to help people commit fraud in the future. She hung up on me. I blocked the number. That evening, I posted another Instagram photo. Me at dinner with actual friends. Real people from work. People who valued me. Caption: real life, real people. Checked it later. Elena had viewed it 6 times. She could keep watching. Keep seeing what stability looked like. What authenticity looked like. What building something real looked like instead of chasing aesthetics. Because while she was stocking shelves at Target with a scarred face and a criminal record, working minimum wage to pay off her parents, I was closing business deals, running a regional team, getting paid for being authentic, and living the life she thought she was too good for. My face didn't ruin anything. Her character did. And watching her realize that from the outside, watching her see what she threw away while she dealt with the consequences of her choices, that was the real revenge. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true. She texted, "He's just a work friend. Stop being toxic." Then she went to his cabin for the weekend. I packed her apartment up, changed the locks, and texted her dad, "She's your problem now." The voicemails. She left me were music to my ears. All right, Reddit, buckle up because this story has everything. Gaslighting, a cabin weekend that wasn't what she thought it was, and the most satisfying revenge I've ever pulled off. My buddy convinced me to post this because apparently I handled it like a pro, so here we go. I'm 29, work as a logistics coordinator for a medical supply company here in Michigan. Decent pay, good benefits, the kind of job that lets me afford my own place and actually save money. I bought a duplex 3 years ago when the market dipped. Live in one unit, rent out the other. Smart investment, gives me extra income, and yeah, I'm that guy who actually reads his mortgage statements and tracks his credit score. The duplex was this 1960s brick building in a quiet neighborhood. Nothing fancy but solid construction. Previous owner was some elderly couple who'd maintained it like it was a historic landmark. I spent my first 6 months repainting every room, updating all the light fixtures to LED, and installing a comprehensive security system with cameras at both entrances because why not? The rental unit brought in $1,200 a month like clockwork, and my mortgage was only $1,850. Math worked out perfectly. Had enough left over to max out my retirement contributions and still save an extra $500 monthly. Being financially stable at 29 felt like winning the lottery, especially when most people my age were drowning in student loans or splitting rent with 3 roommates. I drive a 2019 Ford Explorer that I bought certified pre-owned with only 32,000 miles on it. Keep it detailed monthly at this place that does ceramic coating, and actually follow the maintenance schedule like it's a religious text. Every 5,000 miles like clockwork. Oil change, tire rotation, fluid checks. My garage has labeled storage bins for tools organized by type and frequency of use, seasonal stuff sorted by category and clearly marked, and a workbench I built myself from plans I downloaded and modified to fit my space perfectly. Pegboard on the wall with every tool outlined in marker, so I know exactly where it goes. I'm not saying I'm obsessive, but I definitely know where everything is at all times, and can find any tool within 30 seconds, in the dark if necessary. After a couple years of casual dating that went nowhere, I met Natalie through mutual friends at a 4th of July cookout in 2023. She was 26, worked as a dental hygienist, had this bubbly personality that made everyone around her smile. When she laughed, she'd throw her whole head back like she was in some rom-com. Thought it was cute. The cookout was at Liam's place. Typical summer party with burgers and people standing around the grill talking about nothing important. Natalie showed up with her coworker, both of them in sundresses and sunglasses, looking like they'd stepped out of some summer lifestyle magazine. We ended up talking for 3 hours straight about everything from our terrible high school experiences to our current jobs to whether hot dogs counted as sandwiches. We hit it off immediately. She appreciated that I had my life together, wasn't living with roommates like half the guys our age, and could actually cook something besides ramen. First date was dinner at this Italian place downtown, then a walk along the riverfront. She asked about the duplex, seemed genuinely impressed that I owned property at 29, asked smart questions about rental income and property maintenance, not just surface-level stuff. Second date I cooked for her at my place. Made chicken parmesan from scratch, had candles on the table, the whole setup. She walked in and immediately commented on how clean everything was, how organized my kitchen looked, how it was refreshing to date someone who didn't live like a college freshman. Within a month, we were seeing each other 3 or 4 times a week. She'd come over after work and we'd make dinner together, watch shows, just normal couple stuff. It felt easy, natural, like we'd known each other way longer than we actually had. 6 months in, her lease was ending and she was complaining about her apartment complex raising rent by $300. I offered to let her move into my place. Not the rental unit, my actual place. Figured we were serious enough and it made financial sense for both of us. She could save money, I'd have company, win-win situation. She moved in February 2024 with 2 carloads of stuff and about 40 throw pillows that immediately took over my couch. Started rearranging my kitchen cabinets to make more sense and bought this ridiculous amount of candles that made my living room smell like a Bath and Body Works exploded. But whatever. That's relationships, right? You compromise. The first few months were solid. She'd cook breakfast on weekends. I'd handle yard work and repairs. We split groceries and utilities down the middle, even though technically she didn't pay rent. Just felt fair. She'd hang out while I worked on house projects. We'd hit up farmers markets on Sundays. Standard domestic life stuff. Her job at the dental office was pretty straightforward according to her. She worked Monday through Thursday. 10-hour shifts. Had Fridays off. Came home with stories about difficult patients, office drama with the receptionist, the usual workplace nonsense. I'd listen while making dinner, throw in appropriate reactions, basic supportive boyfriend stuff. Then around June, she started mentioning Blake. At first, it was innocent. Blake from work thinks we should upgrade our scheduling software. Or, Blake suggested this new sterilization protocol that's way more efficient. Blake this, Blake that. I didn't think much of it. People talk about co-workers, happens in every job. Blake apparently was the office manager at her dental practice. 32, recently moved from somewhere out west, seemed to have opinions about everything. According to Natalie, he was making all these changes to improve efficiency and the dentists loved him. He's really good at seeing problems nobody else notices, she told me one evening while scrolling her phone. Like today, he figured out we were wasting 3 hours a week on redundant paperwork. Just eliminated the whole process. Sounds like a go-getter, I said, focused on the expense reports I was reviewing for work. He is. It's actually refreshing to work with someone who cares about making things better, instead of just coasting. Cool, whatever. I work with plenty of competent people too. Didn't mean I needed to give a full performance review at dinner. But then the Blake mentions increased. She'd come home and immediately launch into some story about how Blake reorganized the supply closet, or Blake figured out a better break room rotation, or Blake made everyone laugh with some joke during the staff meeting. You talk about this dude more than you talk about actual work, I finally said one night in July. She looked up from her phone, defensive immediately. What's that supposed to mean? Just an observation. Blake seems to be the main character in every story you tell. He's my coworker, Sam. We work together 9 hours a day. Of course I'm going to mention him. Right, but you never used to talk about your coworkers this much. That's because nothing interesting ever happened before Blake started making changes. She went back to her phone. You're being weird about this. I dropped it. Wasn't worth the argument. But something in my gut said to pay attention. Early August was when her behavior started changing in ways I couldn't ignore. She'd come home and immediately disappear into the bathroom for 30 minutes. Not normal bathroom stuff. Full makeup removal and reapplication, changing clothes, the whole production. When I asked why she was getting dolled up at 7 p.m. when we were just hanging out at home, she'd say she wanted to feel good for herself. Her phone was suddenly password protected. Before, she'd leave it sitting around wherever, didn't matter. Now it was glued to her hand, face down on tables, taken into the bathroom during showers. When it buzzed with notifications, she'd snatch it up like it was about to explode. Who keeps texting you? I asked one night when her phone went off for the fifth time during dinner. Just work stuff, she said without looking up, fingers flying across the screen. At 8 p.m., Blake's trying to finalize the schedule for next month. He wants everyone's input. Can't that wait until tomorrow when you're actually at work? She sighed like I was being unreasonable. Some of us care about doing our jobs well, Sam. Not everything fits into neat 9 to 5 boxes. That stung, but I let it slide. The weekend trips started mid-August. Some people from work are doing a girls' day on Saturday, she announced on a Thursday evening. Hitting up that new outlet mall, then dinner. I'll probably be gone most of the day. Sounds fun. Which coworkers? Just the girls from the office. You don't know them. Seemed legit. She left Saturday morning in leggings and a nice top, came back at 9 p.m. with 0 shopping bags, and a story about how they just walked around and didn't find anything worth buying. The following weekend, the office is doing a team building thing on Sunday. Probably brunch, and then maybe a museum or something. She left Sunday at 10 a.m., got back at 7 p.m., no photos, no souvenirs, barely any details when I asked how it went. It was fine. Kind of boring, actually. The museum was doing renovations, so half of it was closed. Which museum? The art one downtown. The DIA? Yeah, that one. The Detroit Institute of Arts wasn't doing any renovations. I'd literally been there 2 weeks prior, but I didn't call her out. Not yet. The gym membership came next. I'm thinking about getting back in shape, she announced in early September. There's that nice gym near the office. Blake says they have great equipment. Of course Blake says so. She signed up for a membership and suddenly had evening workout sessions 3 times a week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights, she'd come home at 8:30 p.m. instead of her normal 6:15 p.m. Hair perfectly dry, makeup still intact, wearing the same work clothes she'd left in. How was the gym? Good. Really pushed myself today. You're not sweaty, though. I showered there, Sam. They have nice facilities. In your work clothes? I brought a change of clothes. Is this an interrogation? Every time I asked a reasonable question, I was being controlling or suspicious or jealous. Started feeling like I was losing my mind. The Blake mentions continued escalating. How Blake thought she should travel more. How Blake said she was too talented to be stuck in this town. How Blake believed people should live adventurously instead of playing it safe. What exactly does Blake know about your life goals? I asked one night. We talk, Sam. That's what adults do. They have conversations about life and aspirations. And he thinks you're wasting your life here. He thinks I could do more with my potential, yeah. Is that a crime? Sounds like he's trying to make you dissatisfied with what you have. She rolled her eyes hard enough to see her brain. You're being insecure. Blake is just a friend. A work friend. Stop being toxic about it. There it was. Toxic. The magic word that's supposed to make me shut up and stop asking questions. I work in logistics. My entire job is pattern recognition, seeing where things don't line up, fixing problems before they become disasters. And every pattern I was seeing pointed to the same conclusion, but according to Natalie, noticing patterns made me toxic. The cabin announcement came on September 18th. She walked in after the gym and dropped her bag by the door, with this casual energy like she was about to mention we were out of milk. So Blake has this cabin up north, like 2 hours away, and he's invited a bunch of us from work to spend the weekend there. It's supposed to be gorgeous this time of year. I'm thinking I'll go. I looked up from my laptop. Who's going? Just some people from the office. It'll be fun, like a little retreat. Which people specifically? I don't know. Whoever wants to come. Blake sent a group text. Can I see the text? Her face hardened. Why? Don't you trust me? I'd just like to know who you're spending the weekend with. Sam, this is exactly the toxic behavior I'm talking about. You're acting like I need permission to hang out with my coworkers. I didn't say you needed permission. I asked a simple question. A question that implies you don't trust me, which is insulting. She grabbed her phone and her bag. I'm going to take a shower. And yes, I'm going to the cabin this weekend. I don't need your approval. She left for the bathroom before I could respond. I sat there for a minute, feeling that familiar sensation when you know something is wrong, but everyone is telling you you're crazy for seeing it. Then I did something I'm not particularly proud of, but don't really regret either. Natalie had this habit of leaving her work bag by the front door when she got home. I waited until I heard the shower running, walked over, and pulled out her phone. I'd watched her enter her password enough times to know it. 0524, her mom's birthday. Opened her messages and went straight to the thread with Blake. The texts were exactly what I expected, but somehow worse seeing them in writing. Weeks and weeks of flirting. Inside jokes about other coworkers. Him calling her beautiful. Her sending selfies from the bathroom at work with captions like, thinking about you, messages about how I was suffocating, and she deserved someone who understood her creative soul. Him saying he couldn't wait to finally have you all to myself. One exchange from 2 weeks ago. Blake, your boyfriend sounds like he's got a stick up his rear end. All those rules and schedules. Natalie, he means well, but yeah, it's exhausting. Everything has to be planned 3 weeks in advance. Blake, life's too short for that. When are you gonna ditch the safety net and take a real risk? Natalie, soon. Just need to figure out the logistics. Another from last week. Natalie, he's starting to ask questions about you, getting suspicious. Blake, so tell him the truth. Natalie, I can't just blow up my whole living situation. I need time. Blake, the cabin weekend, that'll be your answer. Either you show up and we see where this goes, or you stay stuck in your comfortable little prison. Natalie, I'll be there. Promise. The cabin weekend? It was just them. Nobody else invited. Just Blake and Natalie, alone in the woods for 3 days. The group text she'd mentioned never existed. She'd texted him literally 2 hours ago, right after the shower when she said she was going to relax. He's definitely going to be suspicious about the cabin, but I'll handle it. Can't wait to see you. Been thinking about Friday all week. His response, you're worth all the trouble. Going to make this weekend unforgettable. Bring that red dress you showed me. I took pictures of everything with my own phone. Every flirty text, every lie, every plan they'd made. Scrolled back 3 months and documented it all. Then I put her phone back exactly where I found it. Sat down on my couch and started making plans. Here's what most people don't understand about revenge. It's not about anger. Anger makes you sloppy, makes you do stupid things you regret later. Real revenge is cold, calculated, and executed with the same precision you'd use for any major project. I had 4 days before she left for the cabin. 4 days to plan everything perfectly. First priority, documentation. I went through every text conversation I could access, took screenshots of everything. Her admitting the gym was a lie, the fake girls' days, all of it. Backed everything up to 3 different places. Cloud storage, external hard drive, and a USB drive I put in my safe. Second, logistics. The apartment was mine, bought and paid for before I ever met her. She'd never signed a lease, never paid rent, technically had no legal standing as a tenant since she'd been living there less than a year, and Michigan's tenant laws had specific requirements she didn't meet. I called a lawyer buddy just to confirm. Completely legal to remove her stuff with proper notice. Third, execution plan. She was leaving Friday morning for the cabin, supposedly coming back Sunday evening. That gave me Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to move her entire life out of my place without her having any idea. Thursday night was almost funny. She was packing her bag for the cabin, humming to herself, completely oblivious. What time are you leaving tomorrow? I asked from the couch. Early, probably around 9 a.m. Blake's picking me up. Of course he is. Cool, have fun. She looked over, surprised. You're not going to argue about it? Nope, you made your decision. I'm not going to be toxic about it. I smiled my most genuine smile. You should definitely go have fun with your work friends. She actually looked disappointed that I wasn't fighting her. Oh, okay then. That night I barely slept. But not because I was emotional. I was running through my checklist, making sure I hadn't missed anything. At 3 a.m. I was still awake, mentally inventorying every item of hers that needed to be moved. Friday morning, 8:47 a.m., I was drinking coffee at the kitchen table when she came out with her weekend bag. You're up early, she said. Couldn't sleep. Too much on my mind with work stuff. Well, I'm heading out. I'll text you when I get there. Drive safe. She leaned down for a kiss. I gave her a quick peck, nothing more. Love you, she said at the door. Yeah, you too. The door closed. I watched through the window as Blake's Jeep pulled up, watched her toss her bag in the back, watched her smile at him in a way she hadn't smiled at me in months. They drove off. I gave it 30 minutes just to make sure she didn't forget something and come back. Then I made 3 phone calls. Call 1. Liam, my best friend who owns a truck and has Fridays off. Hey man, remember how you said if I ever needed help moving heavy stuff you'd be there? I'm cashing in that favor today. Call 2. My cousin Joel, who owns a moving company. I need a crew for the weekend. Paying overtime rates. How many guys can you spare? Call 3. A locksmith I'd already contacted earlier in the week. Yeah, I need those locks changed today. Can you be here by 2 p.m.? By 10:30 a.m., I had 4 guys and 2 trucks in my driveway. By 11 a.m., we were inside, starting the systematic removal of every single item Natalie owned. I'd made a detailed inventory list the night before while she was sleeping, sitting at my kitchen table at 2 a.m. with a notepad, going room by room in my head. Every piece of clothing, every makeup product, every throw pillow, every candle, every kitchen gadget she'd bought, even the hair ties I kept finding everywhere. If she'd brought it into my house, it was getting removed. Nothing personal would be left behind to remind me she'd ever been here. Her clothes went into boxes labeled by category. Work clothes in wardrobe boxes so they wouldn't wrinkle, casual wear folded neatly, winter stuff in large bins, shoes individually wrapped in packing paper. Every bathroom product got its own box with proper padding so nothing would leak or break during transport. All her decorative nonsense got carefully wrapped in bubble wrap and packed with the fragile stickers I'd bought specifically for this. The throw pillows that had taken over my couch? Gone, every single one compressed into garbage bags. The candles that made my living room smell like a Bath and Body Works had exploded? All packed carefully with wicks protected. The ridiculous kitchen organization system she'd insisted on? Dismantled piece by piece and packed with notes about which drawer each item came from. Because even in revenge, I couldn't help being organized. Liam was having the time of his life. Dude, I can't believe how much stuff she accumulated. Where did she even store all this? She's been here 8 months. Apparently, that's enough time to take over an entire house. We found stuff in places I didn't even know she'd claimed territory. Bathroom cabinet packed floor to ceiling with products I'd never seen her use. Closet shelf with 7 boxes of shoes still in their original packaging. Kitchen drawer full of random gadgets she bought off Instagram ads and used exactly once. Under the bathroom sink, I found 4 different hair straighteners, 3 curling wands, and enough makeup to stock a department store counter. How many hair straighteners does one person need? Joel asked, holding up 3 different flat irons like they were evidence in a criminal trial. Apparently 3. Pack them all. And what's this? Liam pulled out some electronic facial steaming device still in the box. She never even opened half this stuff. That's the Instagram impulse buy collection. All of it goes. The bedroom closet was its own expedition. She'd somehow taken over 70% of my closet space without me fully realizing it. Dresses I'd never seen her wear, still with tags attached. Shoes organized by season and color. An entire section dedicated to workout clothes for workouts that never happened. We packed it all methodically, labeling every box with detailed contents lists, because even in the middle of revenge, I couldn't help being organized. Her bathroom products alone filled 6 medium-sized boxes. Shampoos, conditioners, body scrubs, face masks, serums, toners, moisturizers, hair masks, leave-in treatments, and about 40 different bottles I couldn't even identify. Each one went into boxes wrapped carefully so nothing would leak or break. I dated a girl once who had maybe 10 products total, Liam said, staring at the bathroom counter we'd just cleared. This is actually insane. Welcome to my life for the past 8 months. The living room was where her decorative takeover really showed. Those 40 throw pillows we'd joked about? Actual count was 53. 53 throw pillows. We found them on the couch, on chairs, in closets, under the bed. Each one got packed into garbage bags and labeled. Kitchen was another battlefield. She'd slowly replaced my practical cooking stuff with aesthetic pieces that looked good but worked poorly. Copper pots that couldn't go in the dishwasher. Matching containers for flour and sugar that were too small to be useful. A bread box that took up counter space for no reason. Decorative cutting boards that were too pretty to actually cut on. All of it packed and removed. By 4 p.m., we'd filled an entire truck. By 6 p.m. Friday, every trace of Natalie was boxed up and loaded. My place looked like it did before she moved in, minus some furniture I'd bought specifically because she wanted it. A decorative entryway table I never needed. Some accent chairs that were uncomfortable but looked sophisticated. A coffee table that was too low to be functional. I kept it all because selling furniture wasn't worth the hassle, but everything that was distinctly hers was gone. The locksmith showed up at 2 p.m. as scheduled and spent 90 minutes changing every lock. Front door, back door, garage, even the gate to the backyard. New keys, new locks, new security codes for the alarm system. If she tried to use her old key, she'd find herself very locked out. Saturday morning, I drove to her parents' house 2 counties over. Her dad, Robert, answered the door. "Hey, Sam, what brings you by? Natalie didn't mention you were coming. That's actually what I need to talk to you about. Is your wife home?" They both sat down in their living room while I explained everything. Showed them the screenshots of the texts, the documented lies, the cabin trip that was really a romantic getaway with Blake. Her mom, Linda, started crying. Her dad just got quiet, which was somehow scarier. "She's still at this cabin?" Robert asked. "Should be back tomorrow evening. Where's her stuff?" "In a climate-controlled storage unit I rented under her name. Paid for 3 months up front. Unit number 247, here's the key and the paperwork. Everything she owns is safely stored there. Linda wiped her eyes. You didn't just throw her stuff out? No, ma'am, I'm not that guy. Everything is packed carefully, organized, and waiting for her. I'm not trying to destroy her life. I'm just removing her from mine. Robert stood up and shook my hand. You're better than I would have been. Appreciate you doing this the right way. I handed him the storage unit key and all the relevant paperwork. She's going to need somewhere to stay when she gets back. Figured you'd want a heads up. She can come here, Linda said quietly. We'll figure something out. I left feeling oddly peaceful. The hard part was done. Now I just had to wait for the fireworks. Sunday afternoon around 4 p.m., I sent a single text to Natalie. Your belongings are in storage unit 247 at Secure Space Storage on Wilson Road. Paid through November. Key and paperwork are with your parents. Don't contact me again. Then I blocked her number, blocked her on every social media platform, and settled in to wait. The voicemail started at 4:47 p.m. Since I'd blocked her number, they went straight to voicemail without ringing. I didn't check them immediately. Wanted to let her stew for a while, really feel the full weight of consequences. Made myself dinner, steak and roasted vegetables, poured a glass of iced tea, and sat down to watch a movie I'd been meaning to catch up on. By 9 p.m. Sunday, she'd left 17 voicemails. 17. I finally decided to listen to them, and honestly, they were better than any movie I could have watched. Voicemail 1, 4:47 p.m., confused and annoyed. Sam, what the heck? I got your text. What do you mean my stuff is in storage? Is this some kind of joke? Call me back right now. Voicemail 2, 4:53 p.m., still confused. Seriously, this isn't funny. I don't understand what's happening. Just picked up Blake and he's asking what's wrong. Call me back. Voicemail 3:05:02 p.m., getting angry. Okay, seriously, this isn't funny. I just tried my key and it doesn't work. Did you change the locks? Sam, answer your phone right now. This is ridiculous. Voicemail 4:05:18 p.m., panic starting. Blake just left. This is really messed up, Sam. You can't just lock me out of my own home. Where am I supposed to go? I have work tomorrow. Voicemail 5:29 p.m., crying now. Please pick up. Please. I don't understand why you're doing this. We can talk about whatever's bothering you. Just let me come home. Voicemail 6:34 p.m., anger mixed with tears. You have no right to do this. This is my home too. You can't just kick me out without warning. This is illegal, Sam. I'm calling the police. Voicemail 7:51 p.m., defeated. The police said you're allowed to do this because I don't have a lease. How is that possible? I live there. That's my home. Voicemail 8:11 p.m., desperate. The police said you didn't do anything illegal because I don't have a lease and I've only been there 8 months. How could you do this? Where am I supposed to go? I have work tomorrow and all my clothes are gone. Voicemail 9:48 p.m., bargaining. Okay, I know you must have found out about Blake somehow. I can explain everything. It's not what you think. Can we please just talk about this face to face? Like adults? Voicemail 10:23 p.m., more crying. Sam, please, can we just talk about this like adults? I know I messed up, but you're overreacting. We can work through this. Please let me come home. I'm sitting in a parking lot with nowhere to go. Voicemail 7:45 p.m., trying anger again. You know what? This is actually psychotic behavior. Going through my phone, stalking my messages, kicking me out without warning. You're not the victim here, Sam. You're controlling and toxic. Voicemail 7:58 p.m., back to desperate. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I'm just scared and confused. Please call me back, please. Voicemail 8:01 p.m., bargaining again. I'll end things with Blake. It was stupid, you were right. I got caught up in something that didn't mean anything. Please just let me explain in person. I love you. I made a mistake, but we can fix this. Voicemail 8:29 p.m., resignation. I'm at my parents' house now. They're not happy. They want to know what happened. What am I supposed to tell them? Voicemail 8:44 p.m., quiet and broken. I'm at my parents' house now. They showed me the screenshots you sent them. Sam, it wasn't what it looked like. Those texts were taken out of context. Blake was just being friendly, and I was too nice to shut it down. Please believe me. Voicemail 9:03 p.m., trying one more time. My mom is crying. My dad won't even look at me. You sent them screenshots of private conversations, and now my entire family thinks I'm some terrible person. How could you do that? Voicemail 17, 9:17 p.m. Finally defeated. I don't know what else to say. You won't answer. You won't talk to me. I have to figure out my entire life now because you decided to be cruel. I hope you're happy with yourself. You ruined everything over a misunderstanding. Blake and I were just friends, and you turned it into this whole thing. I hope you're proud. I saved every single voicemail, backed them up just like the texts. Then I made myself dinner, watched a movie, and slept better than I had in months. Monday morning, I woke up to 32 text messages from her friend Jessica, who apparently got my number from Natalie and thought I needed to hear about what a horrible person I was. Blocked. Tuesday, I got an email from her work account saying she'd made a mistake and wanted to discuss things rationally. Deleted without responding. Wednesday, her mom called from her phone. I answered that one. Sam, it's Linda. Please don't hang up. I'm listening. Natalie is beside herself. She knows she messed up. She's willing to do anything to fix this. Linda, I appreciate you trying to help your daughter, but there's nothing to fix. She made her choices. Now she's living with them. I'm done. She says Blake wasn't what she thought he was, that the cabin trip was a mistake and she realized she wanted to be with you. Translation, Blake probably got what he wanted and lost interest. Now she wants to come back to her backup plan. Hard pass. Silence on the other end. You deserve better than this, Linda. So do I. Tell Natalie to move on with her life. I already have. I hung up and blocked that number too. The real entertainment came from social media before I locked everything down completely. Natalie had posted a vague status about toxic relationships and not recognizing red flags until it's too late. Her friends jumped in with support, saying she deserved better, that she dodged a bullet, all the standard breakup nonsense. What they didn't know was I'd already sent screenshots to 3 of her closest friends showing exactly what happened. The comment section shifted real quick. One of her friends, Michelle, commented, "Girl, I saw the receipts. You cheated and got caught. Take the L and move on." Another mutual acquaintance. Maybe don't cheat on guys who treat you well and then play victim when there are consequences. Natalie deleted the entire post within an hour. Blake, meanwhile, had apparently ghosted her after the cabin weekend. Shocker. Turns out guys who help girls cheat aren't looking for serious relationships. Who could have predicted that? According to Liam, who heard from someone who worked at the dental office, Blake had tried this same move with 2 other women at previous jobs. Serial workplace romance guy who gets bored once the chase is over. Natalie was just his latest conquest. The cabin had apparently gone fine from Blake's perspective. He got what he wanted. But by Monday morning, when Natalie was blowing up his phone about relationship plans, and when they'd tell people at work, he'd gone ice cold. The grapevine said he told her the cabin was just a fun weekend, and she'd read too much into things. Classic move. She'd blown up her entire living situation, destroyed a stable relationship, and lost the backup plan. All for a guy who saw her as a weekend conquest. The dental office became so awkward that she couldn't handle showing up to work, seeing him every day acting like nothing had happened while she was living in her childhood bedroom, dealing with the aftermath. She'd quit her job at the dental office by the end of September. Couldn't handle working with Blake after he made it clear the cabin was a one-time thing. Moved back in with her parents while she figured out her life. 2 months later, November, I was at the grocery store when I ran into Blake himself at the checkout line. He recognized me immediately, got this uncomfortable look on his face. The kind of look people get when they're caught doing something they know is wrong but thought they'd gotten away with. Sam, right? Listen, man, about what happened. Save it. Not interested. He shifted his weight, looked around like he was hoping someone would interrupt this conversation. I just wanted to say it wasn't personal. She came on to me, and that's when I actually turned to face him fully. Looked him dead in the eye. You know what the funniest part is? You thought you won something, but all you got was a cheater who's now unemployed and living with her parents. Congrats on that prize. His face went red. Started to say something, then stopped. Opened his mouth again, nothing came out. Also, for the record, she didn't come on to you. I saw the texts. You pursued her for months. Told her I was holding her back. Convinced her to throw away a stable relationship for what? A weekend at your cabin? How's that working out for you now that she wants an actual relationship, and you're stuck seeing her desperation every day at work? She quit, he muttered. Smart move on her part. Hard to face the guy who used you as a disposable weekend toy. I grabbed my groceries. Enjoy your day, Blake. Left him standing there at the checkout, his frozen dinners and energy drinks sitting in his cart like a monument to his lifestyle choices. December rolled around and Liam threw his annual Christmas party. I brought Jenna, the woman I'd been casually seeing for about 6 weeks. Accountant, owned her own condo, had her life together. We were keeping things light, but it was working. Halfway through the party, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. I heard you moved on already. Hope she knows what kind of person you really are. I showed it to Liam. Natalie found a way around the blocking. What are you gonna do? I typed back a single message. Already told your parents everything. Already showed your friends the receipts. Already got you out of my life. Whatever story you're telling yourself to sleep at night, tell it to someone who cares. Then I blocked that number too and went back to the party. January hit and I got the promotion at work I'd been angling for. 15% raise, better title, my own team to manage. Celebrated by finally upgrading my home gym setup like I'd been planning. That same week, Jessica, the friend who'd blown up my phone back in September, sent me a friend request on social media with a message attached. Hey Sam, I owe you an apology. Natalie told me a completely different version of what happened. Found out the truth from Michelle who saw your screenshots. You handled that situation with way more class than most guys would. Hope you're doing well. I accepted the request, but didn't respond to the message. Some things don't need a response. February brought the real kicker. Liam called me on a Saturday morning, laughing so hard he could barely talk. Dude, you're not gonna believe this. Remember Blake? Unfortunately, he just got fired from that coffee startup. Turns out he was pulling the same workplace romance nonsense there, and someone finally reported him to HR. Company did an investigation, found a pattern going back years, canned him on the spot. Karma's efficient. Gets better. Natalie found out through the dental office grapevine and apparently tried to reach out to him. Probably thought they could bond over their mutual bad luck or something. He told her to lose his number and stop living in the past. I couldn't help but laugh. So the guy who convinced her to blow up her life for him won't even take her calls now. Poetic justice, man. March brought an unexpected visitor to my door. Robert, Natalie's dad, showed up on a Sunday afternoon. Sam, got a minute? I let him in, offered him something to drink. We sat in my living room, the same room where his daughter had told me she was taking Blake to Christmas dinner instead of me. Natalie doesn't know I'm here, Robert started. Linda and I wanted you to know she's been seeing a counselor, working through some things. That's good. Everyone should probably see a counselor at some point. She finally admitted what really happened. The whole thing with Blake, how she'd been lying to you for months. Took her this long to stop making excuses. Okay, Robert looked around the room. You've got a good life here, Sam. Don't let what she did make you cynical about relationships. I'm not cynical, just more selective. He nodded, stood up, shook my hand. You're a good man. Take care of yourself. After he left, I called Jenna. You busy? Want to grab dinner? Thought you'd never ask. Pick me up in an hour? See you then. By the time April rolled around, the whole Natalie situation felt like ancient history. My tenant in the rental unit renewed their lease for another year. Work was going great. Jenna and I were still keeping things casual but steady. I was at Home Depot one Saturday afternoon, picking up supplies to build new shelving for my garage, when I saw Natalie 3 aisles over looking at paint samples. She saw me at the exact same time. For about 5 seconds, we just stood there, both of us probably calculating if we could pretend we didn't see each other. She walked over first. Sam, Natalie, you look good. Healthy. Thanks. You too. Awkward silence. I'm getting my own apartment finally, she said, gesturing at the paint samples. Moving out of my parents' place next month. That's good. Congrats. I wanted to apologize. For real this time, not the panicked voicemails. I screwed up everything we had chasing something that was never real. I set down the lumber I was holding. I appreciate you saying that. I don't expect you to forgive me or want me back or anything. I just needed you to know I understand what I did wrong. Okay. Are you seeing anyone? Yeah. Been dating someone for a few months. It's going well. She nodded, trying to keep her face neutral. Good. You deserve someone who appreciates you. I do. And I found her. We stood there for another awkward beat. Well, I should get going, she said. Take care of yourself, Sam. You too, Natalie. I watched her walk away, paint samples still in her hand, looking smaller somehow than I remembered. Grabbed my lumber, paid, loaded up the Explorer, and drove home. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.